Greetings and welcome to Rant and Rank, the show where we come together and rant about and rank your favorite studio artists/bands. We use the very scientific method of our opinions to choose the best album by any given artist, and we do this in a completely uncivilized way. With me today, he's a brand new kind of actress, Jason.
Hello, hello.
And hand grenades are his preferred drink when in a hurricane, TD.
How y'all doing?
And Joe, what did he do to help? What did Joe do to help?
That's right.
What did Joe do to help?
Nothing. So, our good friend Ed is taking a hiatus. We've last seen him with a monkey that knows sign language down in the rainforest. Bad Amy. Some of you might get this one. And with us today for the very first time, we have TD Wood. TD, this is our fun reoccurring segment. It's called Shameless Self-Promotion. So tell us who you are and where do people find you?
TD by God Wood. No, you can find me Taking on Sports podcast. Been on a little hiatus the last month while I've been out of state working, but it should return very soon. I don't know when y'all are going to post this, so it may have already returned by the time that this goes up.
It's probably about a month. No, okay. This one's shorter because the new album will be out sometime soonish. So this one actually comes out
June 16th-ish.
We're rushing Jason on the editing phase here.
Okay. Well, there you go. Then yes, we will have already been recorded a few episodes during non-football season. We release shows every other Monday. You can find them on Apple, Spotify, all that good. And then you can also find them on the Alabama Take website. And I'll just shamelessly promote everybody else there. There's a lot of great podcasts and writings and all that kind of stuff on the Alabama Take. A bunch of ne'er-do-wells and misfits with some association to the state of Alabama. So y'all go check it out. But again, definitely listen to Taking on Sports, especially if you want to be a rich benefactor.
That's right.
Cheers.
What's funny is we're all from Alabama here, so this kind of fits right in with that Alabama Take thing. So we're here, and this week we are doing Jason Isbell. So a little housekeeping for you. We have a Patreon. You know all about it. You know there's a gold tier, a silver tier, and a bronze tier. And our silver tier and above get an exclusive video at least once a month, sometimes more, where we do all kinds of things like talk about Sublime or soundtracks or, whatever we have going on at that time. Join us in our Discord. We're having a good time over there, showing off some cool vinyl, making fun of people, that kind of thing. That's what we naturally do here. And what else for housekeeping? Anything else fun? No? We have any shout-outs there for housekeeping from our Discord?
Shout out to Julie Gordy on Facebook, my cousin, and Rose Cress on Discord.
There we go. And shout out to Mr. Brian Olio. I know you're going to watch this one with TD on it, right? Surely. Let us know. Maybe. All right.
I don't know if he's an Isbell fan.
I don't know if he is. It doesn't matter. You're here. That's why.
That's true.
We need to get Sam to be watching these things from way back there. All right. So, Jason Isbell. We're also combining the 400 unit in here just because I wanted to make our Jason listen to more of that Jason. So we had to do more of them. So we always start out with this thing that I forget, but I've highlighted in yellow and haven't forgotten it since. So that works out well, kids. Your relationship to the band. So TD, you're our guest. Tell us, how did you get into Jason Isbell? What's your relationship with him? So on and so forth.
Let's see. The boring story, or the quick and boring, is that I just discovered him through drive-by trucker station on Pandora. And as I got to know the band, I was like, oh, he's part of it. A lot of the favorite songs are written by him, et cetera, et cetera. But the fun story of that is my buddy Caleb Johnson, you might know, fellow Alabama native. When I first moved back to Alabama from a return to Baltimore after college, I might have been back in Tuscaloosa a week and met Caleb through a mutual friend of ours. And he's like, hey, man, come see this band, the Dexatines, with me at the old Little Willie's bar, which became Green Bar, which is now something else. And so I said, all right, that sounds like a good time. And sure enough, it was. And the fun part of that was we saw one band, Don Chambers and Goat, and they had a hubcap player, literally just a ladder with a bunch of hubcaps on it. Played it, so that was cool.
All right. That's
And
my
then
kind of instrument.
also, yeah, you can really get into it. I have yet to see it since too. Also in attendance there was one Lee Baines, and throughout the night, see, I was a young man then, about 23-ish, maybe. A little bit of an older woman kept giving me the eye, and at one point Lee Baines slapped me on the ass and said, "Go get her, Tiger." So I did. And so I went home and was like, "Hey man, I like this kind of music." And I don't know if it had anything to do with the music exactly, but I had a good time. And so then I went and, through Caleb and all that, went and listened to Dextine's Drive-By Truckers and found Jason Isbell that way. And, when he was part of that band, he was always one of the stronger songwriters in it. And then he's just been in my life ever since. I do love his music. My wife would leave me for him if she had the chance, understandably. So, yeah, that's pretty much where he's at. I've seen him a bunch of times. Followed his career for a while now.
Awesome. So before I get into how I got into Jason Isbell, we'll let Jason go last on this. So TD and I have known each other for many a year now. We've worked together, we've lived together, we've driven across the country partially together. So that's how that.
Don't say any numbers now.
No, that's like many a. That works. Not as long as Jason and I've known each other. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
So Jason Isbell, I found out Jason Isbell through. I was at the Moe's and Daphne barbecue, or at the Moe's barbecue in Daphne. There we go. When they had a band and they covered Elephant, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit! This is a great song. What is there? Is this your song? Is it a cover?" And they're like, "Oh no, we wish it our song. It's a cover from Jason Isbell from Southeastern." And I was like, "Holy shit! Okay." All right, well that's awesome. So they played some more. Nothing else was as good, but I went and checked out Southeastern and just kind of dove in from there. Really kind of started getting into, I think Something More Than Free was out at that time.
That was the next one.
Maybe it wasn't out. Maybe we were just about to come out. Maybe it released right as I was finding all this. And then Here We Rest, and I kind of, sat with those 3 albums for a long time. Didn't really get into anything else. I've never been a drive-by trucker guy. Working in Tuscaloosa for a very long time, they would come by and people would be really excited, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I appreciate y'all. I think it's fine. It's not like Widespread Panic where you'd have to pay me to go see them. I would have went and saw it, but I was like, hey, I'm not getting out of hand here." So that's where I kind of found, listened to some of the things from Drive-By Truckers with him in it specifically, and kind of went from there. Jason, what is your relationship with Jason Isbell?
It's bad. It's abusive. It's self-deprecating. This is the first artist we've covered that I didn't know anything about. So I don't even have any vinyl to show off here. It's not my type of music. I suffered through 7 albums, 3 pages of notes. Let's go.
That's right. All right, so let's get started with it. Once again, as our guest, TD, I'm going to let you start off. Give us your number 7 album.
Number 7, I have the latest Reunions. Obviously not counting the cover album, Georgia Blue. Reunions was one of those, I just haven't really re-listened to it a bunch, or maybe at all. It's got a couple good songs, but no standout tracks. It's one of those, the Trump administration really hurt a lot of guys creatively. And I liken it to the way that the Bush administration kind of killed Steve Earle's creativity for a little bit. And so it's just, I don't know, after a few albums, it just didn't work anymore. And so, yeah, I've rarely ever listened to anything off of that.
See, even in the punk community, like the Trump administration hurt the punk community as far as creativity goes as well.
Yeah.
Bush, they did really well. Obama, they did really well. But Trump, it was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of lame.
The punk economy went down.
Yeah.
That is a very hot take from you on that one, in my opinion, personally, on Reunions. I have that. I'm going to talk about that one way later.
Yeah, I guarantee you it ain't as hot as mine.
All right, Jason, let's get yours. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is Southeastern.
Woo, son, that is a
spicy.
Yeah, we're hot taking it left and right here.
Mind you, I have no idea who likes what. this is all based on listening to these albums from front to back. All right, I'm gonna try and skip the negative. Stockholm is decent. Should have been an opening. Flying Over Water is good, not great. It has some energy. Is that a throwback to the first album? And still somehow those ditches took a better part of me. Different Days is boring, but I'll give him credit for rhyming 16 with benzodiazepine, that was witty. I'll give him that. Holy shit, I was falling asleep from 3 boring ass songs, and then all of a sudden, don't wanna die in a Super 8 mode comes in loud. The rest is boring, not my thing. Relatively easy. It's a decent closer for him.
All right,
that was skipping the negative.
Whew. Let me tell y'all got the spicy takes today. My number 7 is Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. The self-titled there. Yeah.
That's where's that at on my list here? That's not even on page 1.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's up there. All right.
Yeah, that's that.
It's not a bad album, but somebody had to be number 7, and this is kind of where we landed with it. Listening to them, I have spent less time with Sirens of the Ditch and Jason Isbell in the 400 unit than I have anything else. But, I know the song. I know a lot of the songs off of each of them. How they're put together on this one, it's fine. I like Cigarettes and Wine. I think that's a great song. The last song I'll write, really good. I like When My Baby's Beside Me. The Blues, great. Coda, it's fine. That's fine at the end there. There's a lot of good songs on there. Those are just some of the highlights from it for me. So that's why it's my number 7.
One of my top songs comes from.
All right, Jason, give us number 6. I like this. It's going to be a very varied one because we've all got, we're all switching.
Mine is Something More Than Free. It Takes a Lifetime was good. Well, I thought The Highway loved me, but she beat me like a drum. A day will come if it takes a lifetime. Flagship, I thought this was going to be good. The first few bars are about a rundown motel, but then it goes into mundane, let's not let our love fade lyrics. Life You Chose, Who Are You If Not the One I Met? Who are you if not the one I met? One July night before the town went wet. I got lucky when I finished school. Lost 3 fingers to a faulty tool. Settled out of court. I'm no one's fool. I'm just going to let those speak for itself on that one. Something More Than Free. Work sucks. Not a fan of pro-working songs. With a title like Speed Trap Town, the song had the potential to be great, but no, it's just another slow Dr. Seuss rhyming game. Hudson Commodore has a nice guitar intro. Another song with unnecessary twangy guitars in the background. Palmetto Rose is the highlight on this one. Still Dr. Seuss rhyming with vent, went, friend, win, dead, said. But on the whole, this is a decent song. The chorus is pretty catchy and delivered well. The closing track is really good as well. This is the first album that gets better the more songs you get into the track list. Because remember, I listened to these in order. So by this point, the first 3 albums, they just kind of at the end. This one actually ramped up for me.
That's a fair criticism, actually.
So my number 6 is going to be Sirens of the Ditch. Like I said, these are the 2 that I listened to for the least, and listening to them again, there's a reason why. I'm not as into these as I was, as I am for the rest of everything else coming after. I do like Brand New Kind of Actress. I think that's a great opener. I think that's a good song.
Sorry.
The Devil Is My Running Mate is also great. I'm a big fan there. Chicago Promenade I liked. Hurricanes and Hand Grenades, and In a Razor Town. All those are kind of my highlights for those. Yeah. TD, what you got for us?
Number 6, I have Here We Rest. Still kind of finding myself after leaving the Truckers there. I think there's a few great tracks on it. Alabama Pines, obviously, is kind of big breakout hit. Codeine's a good lighthearted romper with kind of serious story, but the way he writes is good. And Tour Duty's one of his better songs, I think. But there's also so much filler in this album. It's got the weird little pirate song. It's got the cover of Heart on a String. There's just a lot of filler on this album. It's one of those that I really liked initially, listened to a lot, and as I've gone on older, I just don't really give the whole album a listen anymore, except like the songs I just mentioned.
Oh man, I like the pirate shanty.
It's nice. It's just so out of fucking place there. Like I don't. Where the hell
it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense there. But
between Daisy May and then Never Could Believe, it's just it's really. It's like something you stick on the end of an album and just for fun. And I don't know. It's weird.
It's just a random pirate shanty.
It's very random pirate shanty, and I believe this was his last non-sober album too. Which really doesn't have anything to do, but Alabama Pines and Cody, and like I said, two great songs, but as a whole, I think the album just has no cohesiveness.
I can see that. That's
all I'm saying.
All right. Once again, I like how different this list is going to be from everybody.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
My number 5, because I believe it's my turn, is going to be Something More Than Free. I really like this album. From 5 up, I think everything's amazing. I think that we're really doing some good things in here. With the things, I'm kind of going to take away some of the things Jason said. We're not going to listen to his criticism of it, even though we're so close together on it. I really like If It Takes a Lifetime, 24 Frames, Flagship. Those three I think those are three very strong songs to open the album with. I thought God was an architect. Now it's nothing but a pipe bomb. I love that line. Speed Trap Town, Something More Than Free, and Hudson Commodore. Once again, 3 great songs in that album. I'm a huge fan of Hudson Commodore and Speed Trap Town. I think they're really good. Growing up in a town adjacent to a Speed Trap Town, always helps that out. Palmetto Rose, I think, is good also. I don't think it, calling that out as like, oh, that's the song off this album, doesn't do much for me. But it's a good song.
It's still Dr. Seuss lyrics, but that's all of them. But at least this one, it was catchy. It had some catchy parts to it.
I think this is a great album. I like that it was the follow-up to Southeastern. I didn't think a lot of things could follow behind that very well, so I think he did an admirable job there.
He had nowhere to go but up after that one.
TD, what's your number 5?
Actually, we do have a similar one. It's also Something More Than Free.
Okay.
Kind of echoing most of your thoughts. It's a good follow-up to Southeastern, which we have higher opinion on than Jason.
Yes.
It's a different tone than Southeastern is very somber, very it was his first sober album, and you could tell. And this one's a little bit more.
See, I didn't know that. That actually makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
This one, is more. I feel like he goes back to writing songs where they're less autobiographical and biographical. I do agree. I've never really thought about it, but If It Takes a Lifetime, it's kind of bullshit. It's a pro work song. It's bullshit. But it is. I do like it. It's a good song. 24 Frames is it's I think by far the best song on this album. But I don't really have much to add. I'd just be parroting what you said, Joe. It's a good follow up to Southeastern. It's not his best effort. But it's cohesive. This is really where he's starting to make good albums. He's kind of one of these, last of a dying breed people that make whole albums and not just a collection of songs.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I think that I think he, found magic in a bottle or lightning in a bottle with Southeastern. which we'll get to later. And this was a good follow up, and then we're kind of settling in. You know, we had a really high, now we're kind of settling for it. Jason, what's your number 5?
It is Sirens of the Ditch. So this was my very first Jason Isbell record that I listened to. My first note I took was, it sounds like a bootleg John Mellencamp. There are many better songs out there about waitresses. Decent guitar solo, that's about it. Down in the hole, monotonous and boring. Try had a decent intro, and I like the distorted guitar throughout it, but man, those lyrics, thumbs down. Chicago Promenade, piano piece, I kind of like this one. I like the melody of I'm Desperate Now, I must say. I'll do the Chicago Promenade. But then we were back to sleep with Dress Blues. I do like the lyrics for Grown, plus there's a Prince reference. Are you still dancing to Purple Rain? I liked Hurricanes and Hand Grenades, another piano-driven song. Though I thought it was going to be about New Orleans. The She Told Me I Took the Best Years of Her Life and She Was Only 17 cracked me up. I get, there you go, Joe. How old was he when he wrote that one? Album Trails Off. That's, because that was the first one. It just kind of...
Was his mama 17?
What's up?
Was his mama 17 when she had him? Maybe that's a reference to her.
I think it's probably a reference to a just a high school romance, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Is it?
And he's basically laughing at her, being like, oh, those were the best years of your life, type thing.
Yeah, it cracked me up. I like that line.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I do believe Hurricanes and Hand Grenades is about New Orleans. It's at least about being drunk in New Orleans when he's supposed to be playing in Birmingham. But
okay,
there you go.
Because I love me some hand grenades.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Too sweet. Actually, I just watched his thing on HBO Max a couple weeks before
Box
this.
Documentary.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, especially the Cover Me Up. They talk about that on Southeastern and how Amanda doesn't like that song because it is autobiographical, whatever that word is you couldn't say earlier.
Autobiography. God damn it.
See, we don't know. Kid sounded out for us down in the comments.
It's about
him. Sounded out for us in the comments below. We'd appreciate that. So number 4, TD, I think that is on you.
Number 4, I have Sirens of the Ditch. We're starting to kind of round into shape here, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, his first post-Truckers effort, so he's really finding himself there, and it's all over the place. I think there's a lot of good songs in there, but it's just bounces all over the place. I do like Brand New Kind of Actress. Dress Blues, I do not think it's more. I think it's great, as long as it's not the Zac Brown band doing their version of it, because then it's all kind of, hurrah, America. Hurricanes Hand Grenades is a great fucking song. That's one of those where you kind of see him, like his potential almost. It's like you watching a football player in college and he makes this great play and you're like, oh shit, okay. Like I see he's going to make a lot of money on Sundays type.
Uh-huh.
But what else did I have written on one notes? Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a bad album by any means. I don't think he's put out a bad album. It's just you can tell he's trying to make his own name and figuring out what he is supposed to be after getting fired from the Truckers.
He was fired from the Truckers?
Mm-hmm. He was a drunken asshole in a band of drunken assholes, and so it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I've never heard the Drive-By Truckers, but I've heard the name. Like, I know people that liked them.
They're more whiskey-driven rock and roll than... I'm feeling you'd like them more than Jason Isbell's
probably
solo stuff. Yeah. But, in a band where everybody had their own whiskey bottle and their amp, he went too hard. And that documentary, actually, they covered that.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It was on HBO, though.
It's that documentary is very candid. Maybe a little too candid. I don't know if I'd have been that candid on the documentary about the relationship issues and the drinking is well documented. I mean, that's you can't get away from that. Everyone knows that he had a problem. He got sober. He's been sober for quite some time now, so that's good.
Yeah, but it's just kind of all over the place. he's got the first song on there is about what's her name, Sharon Tate murders, and then here,
The Thunder and stuff. No,
yeah,
my
okay. We had some earlier, and then then he goes into Dress Blues, and but you can kind of see him. Yeah, he's definitely trying to find that a little bit taken from what the truckers do, which is write those songs about small town Southern people, and how life is for them, and he's really starting to get there with it. Just not finding his own voice yet.
I don't disagree with any of that. I think that's all. Those are all good, very good points. Jason, what about your number 4?
My number 4 is Reunions. It is. This is my because my notes are stream of conscious, right? I mean, I write down as I'm thinking, reading, listening. What is it with this guy and long ass slow opening tracks? Jesus' lyrics are so freaking monotonous. What have I done to help? He says this 56 fucking times in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Yes, I counted. Fuck this song. Dreamsicle extracts zero emotion from me. That's my problem with this type of music. It's not for me. Twangy guitars and southern accents singing about sad shit does nothing for me. I get the song, I get the topic, but it doesn't draw it's zero emotion. Overseas has a little energy in it, so it's okay. The verses were decent, but damn, that chorus was ugh. Running with Our Eyes Closed, boring. River was okay. I seem to like the piano-driven songs more with this band. Ditch the twangy background guitars, and the song would have been pretty good. Long-ass twangy outro could have been left off as well. Be Afraid was good. I liked the He Stage Belongs to You. I must have missed a T. I like The Stage Belongs to You, and you feel like a star, and you can bark and snap like a dog at the man who just tuned your guitar. I thought that was a good line. Snooze Fest. It Gets Easier had some pretty good lyrics about an alcoholic, and the music was decent. I like this one. See, I didn't know his history about all that stuff, but like that was a good like song about alcoholism. Letting You Go, generic song about being a dad and watching your kid grow. We've covered 2 bands now that tackle this topic so much better. Slow Tangy, Dr. Seuss rhyming, blah. I think that's the one where he was sexist in, where he talks about the all mothers know what to do when they have a kid, and it's like, no, they don't. Like, yeah, the fathers are clueless, but the mothers are just as scared and worried too. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, it had more songs on it that didn't upset me or piss me off than the previous ones. That's why it's there.
All right. So my number 4 is going to be the Nashville Sound.
You still hadn't even put Reunions up.
No, I hadn't. I like Reunions a lot more than either one of you. All right, so the Nashville Sound. Really, I had trouble with this one and Something More Than Free, whether I wanted to put it, but I think they're better songs on this one. I love Last of My Kind. I think that's a good opening. Cumberland Gap's also good. Tupelo slows down a little bit. I like the song, but it is quite the drop in that. We really slow it on down on Tupelo. White Man's World's all right. I get it. I get everything we're saying on it.
Dude, did you read my notes?
Is that what yours are saying?
You were like almost song for song, like hitting the same notes.
I enjoy If We Were Vampires. I know a lot of people do not care for that song.
There it went.
A lot of people don't really care for If We Were Vampires for some reason. I think it's kind of a sweet song. I mean, everybody, reminds me of the Alkaline Trio of this type of music kind of song.
No, like, come on, dude. If you're gonna be, at least like real country, the whole like, oh, my dog died, blah 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 jokes. They're singing about relevant things. This dude is being sad about we're gonna get old and one of us is gonna die and be alone. Come on, that's not emo. That's stupid.
That's what happens.
Everyone's gonna get old. We're all gonna get old and die.
It's real stuff.
Coincidentally, That's Not Emo, That's Stupid would be a great fucking emo album name.
Uh-huh.
That would be actually.
Yeah.
That's not. This isn't emo. It's stupid.
Isn't that a Sum 41 album?
Might be.
R.I.P. Sum 41. We know we know you're just doing it to sell your record, and your tour, but that's all right. Anxiety's really good. I really enjoy Molotov.
Hey, the Rolling Stones have been on their final tour, or Kiss has been on their final tour for like 30 years. So
when they stop, it's over.
Yeah.
We're taking a break. We're not stopping. We're just taking a break from the final tour for a few days. So Molotov, really, really good. I Hope the High Road, I like it. Something to Love is one of my favorite songs off this. Talking about how growing up, learning how to sing with his family. Loved it. Thought it was great. So Nashville Sound, really good album. That's my number 4. Number 3, Jason.
You want me to go again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What did I put after that one? What was my last one? I don't put numbers on them, so I got to figure out where I'm at here. Reunions. After Reunions, it was Here We Rest. So this one, Alabama Pines just sounds like a country song. I'm sorry, it's not for me. Pointless woes in there just to pad out the song length, I guess. Second verse melody made no sense. Strong song structure wise, did not like this song. Go It Alone did nothing for me. We've Met was fun though, a little more upbeat with this decent lyrics. And the drunks all think I made it, and the girls all twist and shake it like they do. All my playground fears have faded, replaced with grown-up nightmares have come true. Like, that was good. Codeine sounds like the song that plays at Splash Mountain in Disney when you're waiting in the line. I don't know if you've ever been to Disney, but you're like standing in Splash Mountain. There's like playing some Country Bear Jamboree. That's what it reminded me of. Stopping By was more bass driven. It was good. I prefer Everclear's Father of Mine though. I did like the Ballad of No Beard, a pirate shanty. That's what my notes say. Never Could Believe is a little swingy. Music is fine. Lyrics are just girls lie. I don't mind Heat on a String. Great dual vocals with some girl, because I didn't look it up. I don't know who it was. And Jason sings in a different key for once. The last 2 songs are meh. Because again, it's like those albums where he didn't have a good, that kind of bleh at the end.
Those are funny notes.
I mean, Father of Mine is a banger, so.
Father of Mine is really good. I am following right behind you with Here We Rest. And your notes have thrown me way off. But Alabama Pines, amazing song. Codeine, I'm trying to hear like the what you're talking about, but I want a world where they're talking about codeine at Splash Mountain.
But I want to children. Right
there. Not the lyrics, just the music. It sounded like
that's fair.
Splash Mountain, or I guess it's not Splash Mountain anymore because they changed it because of what it was based on.
Yeah, they should have long since changed that. I mean, when I was a child and I went on Splash Mountain, I was like, "Oh,
like, what?
That's probably not supposed to be over there." I want to play that one. I love Going Alone. I like We Met. Stopping By is I really like that song. I know it's not Father of Mine, but it's still a good song. I like just the driving to a baseball game in Atlanta, Georgia aspect of it. Daisy May, I'm a big fan of. The Ballad of No Beard, it's a shanty. It is what it is. It doesn't belong here.
Man, I like the shanty.
It has no reason to be there, but it's not like, man.
Stay tuned for the next video to find more about the shanty.
That's number 1, baby. Heart on the String, I thought was really good. Tour Duty was also a very strong song on this one. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
All 5 of them are the sea shanty. But yeah, I think there are a lot of very, very strong songs on here. I like this album a lot. I listen to it probably as much as the next 2 I'm going to mention. So yeah. TD, what's number 3?
Number 3 for me is Nashville Sound. It's a good rock. He gets back to kind of his rock roots with this one after Southeastern, something more than free. West, he kind of went a little more singer songwriter, a little more doing his John Prine impression. Nashville Sound. He gets the band back. Pretty sure Amanda, his wife / fiddle player, is back on this one too, and she really helps it. I'm trying to figure out. There we go. Swiping the wrong way on my notes. I've kind of echoed, and I do skip If We Were Vampires. I'm one of those people too. And then I definitely skip White Man's World. Should have asked Caleb for his rant on that because he's got a great rant on that song. How forced.
Oh, so do I.
There you go. It's just
Not really.
I'll just leave it alone. Last of My Kind, I think that's probably my favorite on this album. Looking at it, it's got one of my favorite lines. Where is it? From the opening, nobody here can dance like me. Everybody clapping on the 1 and the 3. And as a white guy who can dance and whose father-in-law is a musician himself, that's one we always laugh about because it's on the 2 and 4, people. It's on the 2 and 4. That's what you're looking for. And so I love that line. Like I remember first listening to the album, I was like, okay, yep, I'm right here. And he's got another great verse later, and when he talks about telling that story about going to college where didn't belong, laughed when they gave me amphetamines, left me alone in the bad part of town, 36 hours to come back down. Just sounds horrible, nightmare scenario, but if you can look back and laugh on it, then hey, why not? What else is on this album I love? Like Cumberland Gap's a great song. Tupelo's a real good song, about cleaning up, getting back to somewhere where your demons won't find you. Hope the High Road, kind of a little bit more of that what I mentioned before, that kind of you're like, okay, I get it, this is about Trump getting elected. And your feelings about it. That's cool. Musicians write about politics. It's fine. It's like I said, other than 4 and 5, they're White Men and Vampires. I think I don't really hate anything on this album. I thought it's kind of a good combination of everything he does, from his trucker days to his real solo slow work. It's a real good album, strong front to back.
Yeah, great. I like that album a lot.
A lot of good live music from it too. A lot of these songs are great live.
I saw him at Red Rocks last year. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, real good stuff. Number 2, while we move right along here, my number 2 is going to be Reunions.
That's way too high. Way too high.
I think this is I think you're sleeping on this one. While I'm looking up.
All right.
Why are you trying to get us copyrighted?
That's right.
Hey, it was under 7 seconds. We're good.
That's right. We're all right. So
how long is that pirate shanty? I'll play that
one. Longer than 7 seconds. So I do agree with you. What have I done to help? Says what have I done to help? Way too many times.
How many times? How many times he fucking said it?
I don't know. 53. You said
56.
56.
56 times he said it.
It is an aptly named song. I can give him that.
He could have solved world hunger, and that's what he could have done to help in the long ass song.
Will it help if on the new album, his first song, he answers it 56 times?
That would be great.
Yeah.
I give him props.
Here's what I've done to help.
This is what I did to help.
Dreamsicle, I love. I like that song a lot. I like there was a stretch where I moved a lot. It wasn't necessarily my early childhood, but I moved a whole lot, so it was nice. We were always moving around the South there, from town to town in Tennessee, back to Alabama, and things of that nature. So, having dreamsicles on lawn chairs, or that's right up my alley. I love that. I love that song.
I get it. I get where he's coming from, but like it's so just generic. Like there's no wittiness to it. That's my problem with this music.
I love Only Children also. I think that's a really good one. I like to me, this is a conversation with him and his wife about, what she's writing, because she's a musician, and kind of their early life together, being children. Overseas, one of my favorite lines comes from, talking about the waiter made a girl cry to a table next to me, and I know you would have brought him to his knees, but you're overseas. I I really like that one. Running When Eyes Closed is good. River's good. Be Afraid I like. I'm a big fan of St. Peter's Autograph. And it gets easier, obviously, with his, his past. Had the talking about driving by a bar and a cop getting behind him. Wish you'd pull me up. Wish you'd pull me over now.
Yeah.
So I really like this one. This album though wasn't like, wasn't like Nashville Sound to me. Where I picked up Nashville Sound and I was like, ooh, this is a good Jason Isbell album immediately. Reunions took me quite a few listens to be like, all right, I really like this album. So it took me a moment to get there.
Yeah, that Alcoholic song is like, that's good.
The beginning where he's talking about, his arms turning into snakes, and that's when I got awake, and that's how I knew it was a joke. I woke up laughing. That's how I knew it was a joke. Yeah. I really like those.
Where the hell is he going with this? And I was like, oh, okay. That was a good one.
Number 2, TD.
Number 2, I have Southeastern. It's a phenomenal record. Critically, I think it's probably the critics' favorite of his. And unlike Jason, I do like twangy guitars and sad fucking lyrics. That's just up my wheelhouse. Give me some cheap whiskey.
That's why you're here.
yeah, that is why Joe called me.
That's right. I needed some backup.
I'm sure that he probably was there a couple nights back in the old Tuscaloosa Mellow, and after closing, I'd go put on some sad country twangy music. And everybody else in there would get pissed off. And you know what? If it makes y'all fuckers get out of here quicker, then I'm doing my job. I'll sit in the office and count money and drink beer here. But yeah, it's a phenomenal album, top to bottom, front to back. There's not a miss on this to me. Cover Me Up is great, particularly when it's not done by that shitbag Morgan Wallen. Jason's version is real. It's about what he went through. Like you mentioned, Joe, in the documentary, when Amanda's talking about it, tore off your dress in a Richmond hotel. Put your faith to the test when I tore off your dress in a Richmond hotel. That's some like heavy shit right there. You're talking about your now wife, and your last night of the story is, from that documentary, it was literally his last drunken show. He like his big hurrah. He's going to rehab on Monday. Saturday show in Richmond, played his big hurrah, went a little too far with his own woman, and then wrote this just amazing song about like basically we're gonna lock ourselves in the room until like we solve this. Just all those lyrics, like girl, leave your dress by the bed, we ain't leaving this room, just all that kind of stuff. Traveling Alone, I remember, so this I think came out spring when I was still in Louisville, after Joe ditched me there.
That's right.
I believe it came out, yeah. That song really hit it with me. More great lyrics, just talking, that first couple verses about, driving through, fighting second gear for 15 miles or so, trying to beat the angry snow. I know every town worth passing through, but what good does no one do with no one to show it to? And when you're sitting alone in a town you don't really know, you've been there for a few months, but you're still trying to find your way, and you're having certain feelings like I was, like that song, you're like, damn, shit, that lyric just hits you. And another, telling a story about just how fucked up he used to be, damn near strangled by my appetite, Ybor City on a Friday night, couldn't even stand upright, so high the street girls wouldn't take my pay. For those that don't know, Ybor City is a nice little red light district in Tampa. And if you do know, Tampa's got some of the finest strip clubs and ladies of the night in the country. At least that's its reputation, so I hear. And that's
somebody told me.
Yeah, I've heard. I did a paper on it in college.
Oh, nice.
But no, Elephant, another one, just a heartbreaking, tragic song about, someone dying of cancer he loves, and just, it's so sad and horrible, but it's so good. Same with like songs that she sang in the shower. Flying Over Water is great. And then, Super 8, like you said, Jason, earlier, there's that out of nowhere on this like tragic, like, just don't want to die, and what's another great line in there? Bass player took it in the baby fat with a fungo bat.
Yeah,
And a great story too. And anyone who's ever even been near a Super 8 motel probably has a similar story. So yeah, this is just a top to bottom. Yeah, it can be a tough listen sometimes. And even as much as I love it, sometimes I might hit skip on that if it comes up randomly on the playlist, especially like a song like Elephant. Like I don't want to hear that on a road trip or something like that. But beautiful album.
I've got a little more to say, but man, you hit a lot of my points here in a minute. But Jason, give us your number 2.
my number 2 is Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. And you got this one way too damn low.
I agree.
That's where I think
That's all. I'm not going to say anymore. That's your Florida.
The first song, he almost sounds like Brian Fallon from the Gaslight Anthem. I pretended it was a Get Hurt era Gaslight Anthem song. It was okay. Sunstroke was a horrible second track. Good. Should have been the second track. This one had some energy. I like this one. Lyrics are still vague and generic, but at least it has some energy. Four boring songs until soldiers get strange. This one is decent. Again, not lyrics, but I can get behind. A good friend is hard to find. I wish you could spend more time. You wish you could spend more time. The verses remind me of some other song that I know and like, but I couldn't place it. Like it sounded so damn familiar, like I'd heard it before, but I couldn't figure it out. The last song I will write, boy, I wish that was a true statement. I kid. When My Baby's Beside Me is an upbeat rocker in the same vein as Rick Springfield rocking, but at least it has some energy. So there's that. Coda is a much better closure than Sirens had. I'll save the rest of it for another video.
All right.
But like this one didn't bother me as much. Like I kind of what album is this? Like time wise, it's number
2.
Second, yeah.
Okay, because I listened to the first 2, and then the next night I've listened to 3, and then I listened to the other 2. So after Sirens of the Ditch, I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty good in line. I was about to say, you didn't sound like you enjoyed any of that. So.
You got to remember, I leave a lot of these. Like I got a lot more notes I just ain't saying. So
that was our deal. I didn't shit talk all spring, so he's being nice on this one.
I'm trying.
TD as our guest number 1 for you.
Number 1's one we just talked about, the self-titled Jason Isbell in the 400.
He's gonna like have the completely different. He's like,
this is another one, even though it came out years earlier. Again, when I was in Louisville, I really leaned on this album for whatever reason. I love it. There's not a skip on this album for me, and the first 6 songs are all like just really great to me. 7 by Island's cool sounds on it. Sunstroke is I can see that's another one. I think if you know the stories better more, I've always thought of this and talked with some friends. It's a breakup song about leaving the truckers. There's I gotta find that. There's a line at the end of it too that is so good and like really makes you think. It's like, oh shit, he's talking about like leaving the truckers or getting fired from them. But yeah, answer these questions for. Wait, why did I call you? I shouldn't be giving a fuck. Answer these questions for everyone, so maybe they'll stop asking me what really happened. Where's your masterpiece? It's just you're kind of listening to him, go like, oh shit, like, all right, like he's got some feelings about leaving the truckers or getting pushed out, as we know. Good, I love it. Upbeat. It's great imagery and a great guitar. Cigarettes and Wine, one of my favorites by him. And like really kind of flexing his little lyricist muscles there when he talks, she smelled like cigarettes and wine. She made me happy all the time. I know that ain't much of a line, but it's a God's honest truth. Like within it being like, yeah, this is really cheesy. I know that, but sometimes you just got to put it straight forward. Sometimes country's cheesy, and that's what makes it great. However Long's another one, kind of or rocker with kind of
Remember, kids, he was talking about However Long was another rocker. Also, I mean, you know who's got the.
Blue is another one of my favorites by
There he
him.
is.
Just absolutely great. Fuck yeah, that's another one of those like. All right, I'm going to show this off. Yeah, just everything on this album, I love it. I can listen to it on repeat, and it's kind of like his little bastard stepchild album. A lot of people don't love this a lot. You know, if you do a general consensus of Isbell fans and critics, this is always more where Joe had it. And I could see some structural problems with it. It can be a little all over the place sometimes, and the way the songs are arranged. But I think it's a great fucking album. These are songs that I don't skip when they come up on random shuffle, on the old iTunes. It would guys Cal Kinane put it, DJ Go Steve. When he plays these songs, I love this album, top to bottom, front to back. I wish he would play more of these songs live than he does now. Really doesn't play any of them, but
He played a few older songs whenever I saw him last year. He played some stuff from Georgia Blue, and then he played some older stuff, and then I don't know how much he hit. He hit some Southeastern, but it wasn't like everything. So he had a good mix.
I'm trying to think of the last time I saw him. We've seen him since moving back here to Birmingham because we saw him at Oak Mountain. So he might have played a lot of Georgia Blue. He might have been supporting that one in reunions in. So which I understand, but that's a personal take of mine. Like, hey, we got to support this new album, so we're gonna play 7 songs off of it that you don't fucking know, and nobody's gonna know the words to. So you're just gonna sit there and stare at me quiet for half an hour.
That's every artist. They always do that.
Yeah, and the funniest story that not even close to that. I saw Metallica when they were supporting. What's the one that pissed everybody off? I know they've got a few of those, but Saint Anger.
Oh, yeah. Saint Anger, yeah.
Saint Anger. They played Saint Anger, and what was the other one from?
Load kind of pissed people off.
Yeah, Load did too, but no, Saint Anger, and then there's another track from that album. They played those back to back, and it was when they were doing those huge stadium tours with 4 other bands. And they played those 2 songs, and they're like, all right, we'll go back to the old stuff. And like half the crowd was like, all right, sweet, thank you.
This is kind of off topic, but have you heard the new Metallica?
I have not yet, but I've been told I should.
I haven't heard it either, but like, so I was playing Fortnite with Big Sam the other night, and we were trying to get out of the city. And he hopped in the car. He was driving. I hopped in. We're getting shot at. I'm like, go, 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 go. And the song comes on, and it sounded like old school Metallica. Like, it was just ripping. I was like, who the hell is this? He's like, I think it's the new Metallica. I was like, there's no damn way this is new Metallica. This was damn good. But I'm curious now. I kind of want to check out the new Metallica.
Yeah. As long as they stay away from that weird snare drum shit they did on Saint Anger. I'll fight for Load too. That's the Metallica I got into.
See, we need to have TD come back with Tim when we do Metallica.
There we go.
I'll do it. Let's go.
That'll be fun. Because I'm going to be useless when it comes to Metallica. All right, Jason, give us your number 1.
My number 1 is... Where's the Nashville Sound? So this was kind of interesting whenever T was talking about, he's like, this is the one that rocks the most. It's probably the reason why I liked it the most. Last of My Kind, another country song, but it was a decent opening track. Like, it didn't bother me. I liked Cumberland Gap's guitar. It does some like really interesting chord changes in the beginning, which it just came out of nowhere. I was like, holy crap, that was cool. The lyrics are pretty decent. Tupelo, Take It or Leave It. Wait, take it far away. White Man's World, I get the sentiment, but it's so much wasted potential. Like it like he said, it feels forced. Like it's, I don't know. Fat Mike had a better song with Kill All the White Man. The only lines I liked were wishing I'd never been one of the guys. We pretended not to hear another white man's joke because I've been there so many times. People just assume because you're white, you're going to laugh at their racist jokes. And like, that's stupid. What are you talking about? You have to make the conversation awkward with, yeah, that's not really funny. If We Were Vampires, another slow, boring song. But so far, this album didn't have many slow, boring songs. Uh, Anxiety has a great musical opening, but then it just kind of drags on. There's one part where it sounds like it's about to kick some ass, but then it just stops and it goes back to the boring verses. Chorus doesn't even have any energy in it. It's like the song wants to take off at points but never does. Way too long at almost 7 minutes. Molotov was inoffensive, so there's that. Chaos and Close. Hope the High Road was decent, and the closing track is good too. Overall, I didn't hate most of this album, so that's why it's number one.
There's a good reasons there. I like Nashville Sound. It's such a good album. Number one for me is going to be Southeastern.
What did Ed say? So trendy.
That's right.
So trendy.
The one that got me into him, and I still think it's his best album. I am with UTD. It is a album that I can't listen to all the time. It doesn't. It's not like an everyday player, but if I'm trying to be in an upbeat mood, or we're going on a long car ride, I'm not necessarily there. Now I can sing all the words to it, so it does keep me awake. So that's the thing. Cover Me Up. Like I didn't realize the meaning behind it. I don't think I'm going to tell this story on while we're live here. I'll tell y'all about somebody here shortly. But after watching that about him being in Richmond and the night that he had, basically was crazy. Still a great song. Love Stockholm. Love traveling alone. I did a lot of travel for work. And most of the time it was alone, either driving 6 hours or so through mountain towns and things of that nature. So it was that one's always with that. Elephant is a heartbreaking song. Being that person to be the caregiver to someone who's dying of cancer. I love a lot of the lines in it. Talking about her sitting on the bar stool like nobody sits anymore, cross-legged like nobody sits anymore, or bitching about a weekend crowd. Drinking gin out of coffee cups. A lot of fun in that. I mean, I like a lot of those. Flying Over Water is really good. Different Days, Live Oaks. Songs that she sang in the shower is one of his songs. Obviously, I'm a big reference person, so I love all the references there, like Wish You Were Here and Breakfast in Bed. I love the line, there's two kinds of men in this world and you're neither of them. I thought that was I like that in that song. I've always had a big love for that. I was like, man, that's a great insult to tell somebody. And then referencing, the songs in the shower, or the songs she sang in the shower stuck in my head, like Yesterday's Wine. Also another great line from it. Super 8, a lot of fun. It's definitely a change of pace toward the end of the album. Yvette, I don't know what the hell just popped on my screen there. Kind of a weird, weird tune, talking about citing in his scope, but a father who's being sexually abusive to somebody and basically killing them. So that's a kind of an odd song there toward the end. When you're singing it, you're like, oh, you first listen to it, you're like, oh, all right, and then you start to read the lyrics, you're like, holy shit, we're talking about killing somebody's father. But yeah, pretty much everything TD said, but that was just added on there.
Well, do you want me to go back because I skipped my notes for that one? You want me to just close it out with my notes for that one?
No, I think we'll wait. We'll pass on that.
Okay.
So parting words for us, Jason. I'd love to hear your parting words first.
So this, usually I say this is what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend any of this at all. It was not my thing. I mean, if you like slow, sad country, that's your thing. But not for me.
Ed would be so disappointed in you.
No, I think Ed would be right there with me.
He knows you like those slow, sad songs.
Wait till we do top songs. It's gonna be fun.
TD, or no, I'll do mine. I'll let you have the parting words after that. So, for Jason Isbell, I love him. He's from Alabama. There's a lot of references, and the sounds of his voice remind me a lot of home. We know that I'm a big reference kind of person. He sings about Mobile Bay and multiple things. Or Mobile Street, Mobile Bay, and other songs of his. So, big fan of that kind of thing. If I were to recommend albums, I'd probably tell you all 7 of these are great, but definitely my top 5 are where I'd play around with. Yeah, so Jason Isbell, love him. Good stuff. Can't wait for the new album. TD, what's your parting words for us?
Is TD coming back for the Weather Vanes review?
That's up to yeah.
I mean, yeah, y'all send me an invite. Look, I'll whore myself out. I don't
That's
really
right.
care. I'm good. As long as I can convince the wife to watch a baby for an hour or 2 or 3.
I've heard a couple of them. Cast Iron Skillet.
Yeah,
Wish.
I
Good
have
stuff.
not listened to it all. I usually like listening to albums as a whole for the first time. I don't like hearing the singles or
Yeah,
we'll see.
I get that.
Yeah, I'm a little old soul like that. Yeah, Isbell. Like I said earlier, when I talked about, I love them. The Truckers are one of my favorite bands of all time, and he's an extension of that. Had a great discussion about him in a group text with some Alabama boys. And one of them keeps, basically harping to us like, y'all still don't like him. Like, he'll send songs about reunions or, the upcoming one. And 2 of the guys in there are just kind of over it. I'll give them shit because I'm like, oh, you're all just being hipsters now. You're too cool for him since he's mainstream now. We don't see him at the back of Gillette's like we used to or something, But he is one of those guys I could see if it takes you back to a certain place in time with him. Like I do remember probably around 2011 or so, he was coming. I used to talk to him on Twitter. Back in the day when he was coming through town. Like, man, when you come back to Tuscaloosa, he'd be like, make some friends with some frat boys. I'm playing at the so and so house, and I'll put you on the list. It's nice to actually have people that know the songs, and getting up in there with a very not frat boy crowd. Bringing them in. So that was always fun. It takes you back to a time, particularly, those older albums. Like I said, 400 Unit, the specific album really reminds me of that. And so I can understand there's, a big crowd that doesn't like him as much without the Truckers. It doesn't like the Truckers as much without him because they were a perfect combination. But he's a modern day John Prine. He's a great lyricist and songwriter if you're into that kind of music. Which I am, hooray, sad, slow country. That kind of Americana label. I always recommend, if this is your type of music, then he's kind of the top of the game right now. And he's starting to get some more national mainstream recognition, and I will never hate on anybody, I hate that. Well, he's a sellout. Screw that, man. Like, if he can get paid and buy himself a ranch and, outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and live with his wife and his daughter, then more power to him.
Yeah,
good for him.
Exactly.
Hey, we're big on being sellouts here. If
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
wants to sponsor us, come on
Yeah.
down. You want to throw a boatload of money? I'll wear your t-shirts and sing your praises.
Hawk your energy drink right now.
That's right.
Let's do it. Let's go. But big. I love him. He's a great live show too. For and a lot more energy you would think a guy like this sometimes. But yeah, if you see him with the full band, particularly, like he plays a rock show. He's a rock and roll guy. And he plays a rock show with a little bit more thoughtful lyrics.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, this has been your rant and rank for Jason Isbell. I'm missing my words here. Hang on. I've got some fun words here to say. So, there you have it. That's our definitive ranked albums of Jason Isbell in the 400 Unit by your favorite people on YouTube. Thank you so much. We really appreciate every one of you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and y'all reach out to Jason Isbell himself on Twitter. He uses it. He's on there all the time. He'd love to see us boil down his hard work into an opinion-based ranking system. Hell, Jason and him share the same first name.
That's right.
So y'all let the man know. He's probably out touring right now, and he and Amanda can kick back and have an ice-cold Coca-Cola and have a few chuckles watching us. Hell, he may even want to go over and check out the Alabama Take. So until we see you next time, stay safe and make good decisions.